All right, let me see. All right, so we took our break. Now we're back. As you can see, I got my money up. You know what I'm saying? Had to get 30,000 in here. And see my new fit. Got the boots on, all black. You know what I'm saying? I put in some work while y'all took y'all break. But now we back. So now we're gonna do chapter 4. The last stream is already up. So if you missed on that, you tune in now. You can go over there. You know what I'm saying? Check that out. I'm gonna post all the past live streams so y'all ain't missing out on nothing, obviously. But let's get back to it. There's a lot of drama on that last episode. I tell you what, like shit, somebody got stabbed. That's all I'm gonna say. Nothing else. Somebody got stabbed. Shanked. All right. My feet hurt from all the walking we've been doing the entire day. They're sore and stinging. What about the place near the bowling alley? She asked. Oh, yeah. I crossed yet another property off my list. It was nice, but too far out of my budget. I say as I click my pen back in and stow it in my handbag. Sarah clicks her tongue. She's growing impatient with all the fruitless search. But my best friend, she's here to give me a second opinion on the properties. I'm looking at for my boutique, and I'm not about to let her weasel her way out of it. Well, how about the one next to the popular ice cream parlor? You get a ton of foot traffic. Oh, I said food. You get a ton of foot traffic in a location like that. I sigh at the suggestion, knowing it's true, but I can't afford a place like that. My grandmother has left me a oh, hold on. My grandmother has left me an inheritance when she passed away a few years ago. And although it was enough for me to pursue my dreams of owning my own boutique, I still needed to stick to a strict budget. I know. If the retailers aren't willing to consider my offer, then there's nothing I can do about it. We'll have to keep looking. How many places are left? She asked, groaning. All right, you better calm down. Quit complaining. Just one, I say. I say gloomily, scanning the crumpled. No, I'm saying it right. The crumbled list in my hand, close to the hospital.
Huh?
Hospital. She makes a face. Already, already, I know what she's going to say. Don't you think that's cutting a little close to the capo territory, Riverside too? Girl, ain't we out of high school now? Damn, we don't need to be worried about that. I give her a tired look, though she simply widens her eyes as if to prove her point. I thought we was done. I thought that was just like high school shit, and then we done after we graduate. Like I've been done with that game ever since we graduated from the academy. Like what are we talking about? I wash my hands clean of all that. I say firmly, giving her a stern look. It's been years since I had anything to do with gang activity. However, Sarah wasn't as quick to adjust to the life of normalcy. She still kept in contact with some of the old gang members and upheld the boundaries between territories. Okay. You know what? You know that. Hold on, I fucked up. You know that I'll never be done with the gang completely. It doesn't work like that, she said. Yes, it does. I'm done when I say I'm done. I'm sorry, hold on. Hold on, we gonna pause real quick. Okay. I was hearing my voice in the background. It was the episode playing. Oh, what the fuck is that? Alright. I had to do something real quick. My bad. Alright. It doesn't matter. I'm done with it. I argue back, attempting to put the end to the disagreement. I cut ties with the gang years ago. I'm not getting dragged back into all that. That doesn't mean anything. There's a reason we keep to our part of the city. A reason we have our own bars, restaurants, and parks. Yeah, because the food on our side is miles better. I say with a cheeky smile, and Sarah rolls her eyes. No, because the gangs don't step on each other's turfs unless they're trying to start a fight. The same rules apply to ex-gang members too.
Uh,
You were the leader of my assignment. You were Butterfly Mac. You'll carry that with you for the rest of your life. I grimaced at the sound of that nickname, one I hadn't heard almost in 10 years. She talking about shit 10 years ago. They is not gonna remember me, and if they do, I never said to anybody, oh, Riverside niggas. Fuck, I did say that. Hopefully they ain't done to come at me. I ain't even do shit. A lot has changed since then. We have a property to view. I cut her off, promptly changing the subject. We managed to flag down a taxi, the two of us lost in our own thoughts on the drive there. After paying the driver and exiting the cab, I double checked on the list that we had the right address.
huh?
Is this it? Sarah asked, quirking an eyebrow. A glance at the building in front of us explained Sarah's disbelieving tone. As I survey the rundown building, I'm inclined to agree with her. Decaying wood, boarded up windows, peeling paint is a far cry from a luxury boutique. However, on close inspection, I start to e-vision more. A vision more. I managed mannequins. Ooh, no, I fucked that whole thing up. I imagine mannequins behind a large bay window and a striping sign hanging above the door. With a lick of paint and some new furniture, I could turn this old place into a boutique I have been dreaming of. Sarah, this is it. This is the one, I say dreamily as I open the front door to be greeted by the retailer, ready to give us the grand tour. Sarah lets out a loud sigh from behind me. Not quite as convinced, though. I choose to ignore it. I found my boutique. With a groan, I heaved the last mannequin in though the open door and set it next to the window. After making sure it's carefully lined up with the others, I take a step back to admire the place. The smell of fresh paint still hangs in the air, and the boxes of merchandise, my own creations, have yet to be unpacked. But the store is a far cry from what it is when I purchased it. Having been on the market for so long, the retailer was happy to sell it off as a bargain price, which left the little money I had to be used for renovations. The store even had a small apartment above it for my own personal use, and I've already moved in my belongings and set it all up. The only problem I had encountered was the basement. The door has been locked since I moved in, and none of the keys I've been given by the retailer would open the two doors that granted access to the room. I head over to where my counter sits, my brand new and gleaming with polish. Yeah, no, I said that. And take out a planner from beneath it. After making a note to ask the retailer for the keys to the basement, I get to work and unpack the rest of the box. A sound soon alerts me from the front door, then that Sarah barges through, struggling with a large box held unsteadily in her arms. I dash over to help her with it before she drops the heavy thing on her toes. Together we set it down on the floor. Is that the last of them? I asked Sarah. I asked as Sarah catches her breath, her red face slowly regaining its normal flesh color. There's two other smaller boxes in a bag of hangers, she says, indicating to the moving truck parked on the street outside. All right, let me go get them. The two of us head outside to the truck and start to unload the last of the items, placing them onto the sidewalk while we lock up the truck again. What the fuck? Why'd you pull it up on me while I'm trying to move in shit? Excuse me, is this your place? Goofy ass. A young and unfamiliar man is looking at me expectantly, gesturing to the boutique. Yes it is. I'm looking for the basement, he says, looking through the windows of the shop uncertainly. He's the third guy today who has come along asking the same question, and I'm beginning to find it seriously weird. The basement is locked. There's no access to it. He gives me a strange look as though he doesn't quite believe me. And for a few long moments, we're left staring awkwardly at each other. Is Walter around? He finally says, and I blink at him dumbly. Walter. I don't know anyone named Walter. All right, thanks anyways, he mumbles as he heads down the road. Sarah and I share a look of disbelief.
Huh?
Didn't that tall guy who was here earlier ask the same thing? Sarah asked as she hoisted a box into her arms. Yeah, he did, and a young one before that. I'm starting to think, I'm starting to get the feeling that someone might be pulling a prank on me. There must be a hidden camera around here
Uh,
somewhere. If there is, I hope they blur out my face at least. I can't be on TV looking like this. We laughed together and I placed the bag of hangers over my shoulder while balancing the box in my other arm and head back inside. So, how did the date go last night? I asked Sarah as we put everything down again. What was he like? She makes a face. Oh, mm. She makes a face at the question, which I should have expected. My best friend seems to have had a string of bad dates lately, and I enjoy hearing the juicy details from every single one of
uh,
them. He was awfully boring. He talked about birds. Apparently, he likes to go and watch them on
oh.
weekends. Oh, and he lives with his grandma. Damn. Can't date
Sound like a
someone
good
who
guy.
still lives with his family. Maybe he takes care of her. Let's go, kind. I'm like, that's sweet, don't you think? She shrugs. She shrugs, though I'm not sure if she's convinced.
Uh,
Sure, but I can imagine. But can you imagine trying to get it on with a guy, knowing his grandma's in the next room? No, thank you. Okay, that would be a little awkward. But you have your own place, don't you? I argue
uh,
back. It doesn't matter. He has no desire to move out anyways. I don't see myself hanging. Oh, my bad. I don't see myself having a future with anyone who actually wants to live with their grandma. So no second date. I asked, folding a empty hanger bag and setting it on the
eh.
counter. No second date. She confirms from where she sits, cross-legged on the floor, and then pauses to think for a
Hmm.
moment. I need someone that has a spark. Not Carl, the accountant who lives in his grandma's guest room. Damn. Hold on. How that nigga? Oh wait. This nigga's an accountant. He got to be taken care of. Cause you're an accountant. You should be getting money. He must be stacking up. Don't worry. You just missed out on opportunity. She could have waited. She could have waited a little bit. You know what I'm saying? A few months. Be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You trying to move out? I bet you he was on this money move. But it's
Hmm.
all good. What are you? What about you? Now that you got a boutique and all set up, will you let me set you on a date? I don't have the time for that, I protest, waving a dismissive hand to show this conversation is not
Hmm.
happening. You do have time. No, I don't. I know that ain't bro though. Yeah, that look like Riverside nigga. That is? Oh shit. Hey, get the fuck out my store for real. I know that was 10 years ago, but you shanked my girl. You shanked my nigga. Hold on. Let's see. The door opens abruptly, cutting our argument short, and in steps another man. This is the fourth one today. We're not open, I say in exasperation. I completely I'm completely confused as why all these strange men keep turning up at the shop like they've owned it. Like, I don't know. I'm completely confused as to why all these strange men keep turning up at the shop that I've owned for barely more than a week.
Ah,
Afternoon, ladies. There's been something fixing. What the fuck?
fixing it.
Hold on. Afternoon, lady. Seems there's been some fixing up here lately, he says, ignoring my statement
Hmm.
completely. Well, regardless of what the front looks like, I'm here for the basement. Yeah, you gotta kick this nigga ass.
Eh.
The who? Oh, they keep barging in. They're intruding. Call the cops. There's nothing in the basement, Sarah says as she stands. It's clear that she's just fed up with all of this as I am. This building is under new ownership. I confirm as well. Man takes another step. The scent of cigarette smoke hits me. Sarah and I freeze, eyeing him warily. The last few guys had left without an argument, but there's something different about this one. Something about the tilt of his lips that set my hair on
Oh.
end. That's too bad. What am I going to do with my afternoon now? The fuck? This nigga weird. Get the fuck out, bro. I resist the urge to grimace at the insinuation, but hold my ground all the same. That's got nothing to do with us. A flash of something sinister crosses his face. I almost take a step back, wanting, girl, you ain't got no blick on you. You might as well get one now. I ain't gonna hold you. Wanted to put more distance between us. You look familiar. Damn. I'm surprised you found out. You look familiar, he says darkly as he gives me once over from head to toe. Have we met before? Great. Now he's trying to trying not pick up lines. I don't think so. His eyes linger on me in a way that makes me feel far too uncomfortable. He does seem a little unfamiliar. He does seem a little familiar. The scar on his eyebrow and the freckles seem to stir up memories, but I can't place it. Are you going to waste our entire afternoon? We have things to do. Sarah snaps at the man, though he barely spares her a glance. His eyes are fixed on me. I'll be coming back later, shall I? His smile is slow, lazy, and it rubs me in all the wrong ways. Now we getting fierce, cause bitch, we told you to get the fuck out, and you still here. How about you never return, bitch? The fuck? I bite back, ready to die for the phone and call the police if the situation calls for it. That's very definitive. He says with a smile. It's supposed to be. I huff. Can you leave? The man smiles broader, amused by the threat, and finally he returns, walking to the door, though pausing for a moment before he leaves. Catch you around, sweetheart. Hey, it's that sweetheart thing. Why he looking at me like that? But fuck that nigga. When he finally disappears, I let out a breath I've been holding in. Something about him felt dangerous. And a red flag, yeah, that's a nigga. That's a walking red flag right there, bro. That has popped up in my mind was only now starting to disappear. What a jerk. I need water. What a jerk. Sarah stands with her hands on her hips, glaring after the man. Tell me about it. What's so great about the basement anyways? I throw my hands up in exasperation, finding it more and more bizarre all these men keep showing. Maybe we should find out, Sarah says, mischievous grin curving her lips. How? We don't have the keys, remember? I point out, dismissing the idea. Do you have a crowbar? It's your basement after all, so who says you can't have a little force? I stare at Sarah, considering the prospect, but I'm more curious than ever to find out what's in that basement. I have a screwdriver. That might work. Oh shit, we don't see it. It's probably some money. Somebody left. So one of the gang people left some money in the basement, and now that bitch locked up. It's gotta be it or something down there. After grabbing a large screwdriver from my toolbox, Sarah and I head downstairs in an attempt to force open the door to the basement. We take turns jamming in the screwdriver in the small gaps between the lock, alternating between shimmying it up and down between the lock and trying to pry open the door with force, but it's no use. You stupid door, I yell in frustration and bang against the door, having to finally admit that it's not gonna budge. I stand back and stare at the door in defeat. We managed to chip the wood around the edge a little, but apart from that, it remains. Oh, who did? Hello? An unfamiliar voice startles the both. Ah! Y'all already know who that is. That's great. But we gonna let them introduce, you know what I'm saying? We went towards why they died? So this nigga got pierced, haircut, everything. Alright. Hey, jail must have changed him. Let's see how many years he did. I ain't gonna hold you. He probably did like a few months, got out. We went towards the voice to find a man standing in the door frame of my back entrance, staring down at us with a mix of amusement and confusion clouding his features. I put the screwdriver out from the door and hide it behind my back quickly, schooling my face into a look of innocence before remembering that this is my own property. I have nothing to hide. I have had it with these strange men entering my boutique all day long. Hey, what are you doing here? I demand to know. Ignoring me, he walks towards us, breaking out a
Huh.
grin. You know, you're going about it all wrong. A butter knife would get into the gap a lot easier than a screwdriver, the guy says. Sarah and I exchange stunned looks. Why didn't we think of
Huh.
that? Or could you just, I don't know, use the key? He holds up a set of keys and jingles them from the front of him, and my mouth drops in disbelief. You had the keys to my basement? I stammer, more confused than
Huh?
ever. Your basement? I didn't know this old place had sold.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Tell me why I'm doing 8.5 hours this whole week.
Hmm?
8.5 hours this whole week.
Mm-hmm.
6:30 to 6. I'll just leave that. This whole week. Cha-ching. Bang bang.
Damn.
Just someday I might talk to her and see how the rest of the week comes out myself.
Mm. Well, it has. Sarah steps beside me, giving the man a once over, folding her arms against her chest. So why are you here? Yes, why does he have the keys to my basement? This is all so
Ugh.
sketchy. This place has been vacant for years. The back door was never locked, so I started using it for my own personal means. He says casually. He spins the keys around his finger in a way that makes me want to reach out and take it from him. You've been using the basement without anyone knowing? I asked, eyebrows raised.
Ugh.
I didn't see anyone else lining up to use it. Why let it go to waste? He says with a shrug as though the logic behind it is flawless. How did you even get those? I indicate with my chin towards the keys, and he holds them tight in
Hmm.
his palms. I have my ways. Mm. I eye him suspiciously. Sus- ooh. I eye him suspiciously, knowing his crooked grin should be setting off all my red flags. But for now, they remain still and silent. Well, can I have my keys back, please? I ask impatiently, holding my hand out to take them. He drags them back out of reach and gives me a look, his eyes glinting with
Huh.
amusement. You know something? Something seems funny about all this. He gestures between the screwdriver. I'm still holding in the
Hmm.
door. How can I be sure that you're really the owner of this building and not trying to break in? Do you have any proof? Yeah, you know what? I don't know. You know what? Mm, that is true. Like, bitch, I came from the front door. You came from the back. Let's let's be honest. I ain't gotta show you shit. I don't need to show you any proof. This building is mine. I say defensively, appalled that he would even act such a thing. And besides, you're the one who's been using the basement illegally.
Hmm.
Mm, check this shit. Yeah, so how about you hand over those keys and get out of here before we call the police? Sarah adds, her temper flaring almost as much as
Ugh.
mine. All right. I certainly don't need another run with the law. He holds up his hands in front of him innocently, but the way his lips tilt upwards tells me he's enjoying every second of this
Huh.
exchange. Well, it seems I'm faced with a dilemma. All right, new owner, what are your plans for this basement? Just storage, I suppose. I say with a shrug. I hadn't thought about it much more than
Hmm.
that. How about renting it to me? I raised my eyebrows at him, surprised by the question. Are you the reason why people have been coming over to ask to see the basement? I
Huh.
accuse him. It seems people already miss me, he says with a mischievous grin. Whatever he's been doing down in the basement, I guess he's eager to continue. What have you been using it for exactly? I asked, determined for more information on the strange
Hmm.
proposition. Games.
Ah.
Games. Sarah asked asked distastefully as
Hmm.
he nods. Care to
Hmm.
elaborate? Board games, if you must know. What kind of board games? I question. The man looks to the side before shrugging his
Uh.
shoulders. Me and the guys meet down here every week to have friendly game night of. He trails
Hmm.
off. Dragon Den, he
Huh.
finishes. Are you serious? So this nigga, alright, so why is he on gang shit if even these niggas can come to terms and play fucking video games every fucking weekend? It can be competitive on occasion, she says with a whistle. Dragon Den, I think I heard of it before, some kind of role playing game. Upon seeing our looks of apprehension, he quickly
Huh.
adds, so what about it? We wouldn't be a bother. I'll pay whatever you ask. Extra money in my pocket? Shit, go ahead. I think about it for a moment, weighing my options. On one hand, I don't have any plans for the basement, and the extra money would extremely be helpful. But on the other, I don't even know this man. You do, but you're gonna find out a little later. When I look at Sarah, she widens her eyes at me slightly, and immediately I know what she's thinking. I'm sorry, I don't think this is a good idea. This is my building now. We're using it. We're using the space. You were using the space illegally, anyways. He falters as though he wasn't expecting me to decline
Oh.
his request. You sure? Yeah, I'm sure. For a few moments, he stares me down, as though waiting for me to change my mind. When I show no sign of backing down, he lets out a defeated sigh and runs a hand through his blonde hair.
Uh.
All right, well, I'll get out of here then. Shall I? Leave? Shall I? Yep. Leave you to get back to your, huh? What kind of shop is this, anyways? I'm a tailor. I design my own clothes and sell them. This is my new boutique, City Trends.
Huh.
Well, I guess it's nice to see this old place come alive again, he says with a grin, and I feel a little guilty for dismissing him so
Oh.
quickly. All right, your keys. He holds a small silver ring around him, two small keys hanging from it. Well, I reach for them, but he pulls back with a sly grin. This nigga keep fucking playing with me,
Hmm.
bro. I have a few things still left down there in the basement. Do you mind if I keep these and come by tomorrow to move them out? And you'll give me the
Hmm.
keys? Of course. I make a mental note to change out the keys to the back door. Can't be too sure if he has a copy of it or not. All right. I have some spare boxes if you need to pack
Huh.
anything up. How very helpful, he says with a grin, backing slowly towards the door.
Hmm.
You seem familiar somehow. Yeah, I've been getting that a lot lately, I mumble, thinking back on the creep in the store earlier who said much of the same
Huh.
thing. I'll see you tomorrow then, he says finally, giving me one last grin before disappearing through the door. I stare after him a few moments, confused by the whole encounter. Something about him seemed familiar, too, though I can't place it what it
Hmm.
is. Wow, he's totally flirting with you. Sarah's voice startles me, and I grapple with the screwdriver, almost dropping it as I give her a panic look. What?
Ah.
Good thing you refused to rent the basement to him. For all we know, he could have been running some secret sex dungeon down there. Sex dungeon? Why would you say that?
Huh?
It's a thing these days. Haven't you heard? You really need to get out there more. Well, it's a good thing then, I say with a nod, thinking back on the strange
Hmm.
encounter. What is it? Sarah asks, confused. He's not renting my basement, and that's that. Oh yeah, that was quick. All right. Yeah, that was quick. I ain't gonna hold you. All right, shit. Moving on to the next one. Alright, chapter 5. Let's see. The pitter patter of raindrops echo on a boutique window against a backdrop of heavy gray storm clouds. I let out a sigh as I leaned my chin on my hand, propping it up with my elbow on the counter, and I stare out into the street. This is my first day of business, and instead of clear skies and sun, the weather outside is awful, dashing every hope of a grand opening I had in mind. With a pout, I glanced down at my empty planner, which sits open on the counter, waiting to be filled with appointments, and I let out another defeated breath. Might as well find something to do instead of just moping around. I head over, adjust the outfits on the mannequins, ensuring they're stopped to perfection, which of course they already are. I already dusted the shelves, wiped down the counters, and organized my sewing box. Oh yeah, she getting bored. Today is really not turning out how I hoped. I'm just about to wipe down the already pristine mirrors when a saving grace, in the form of a bell above the door, rings throughout the shop. Immediately, I spin towards it, arms tucked at my sides as I gaze snaps to a man who's just entered the shop. Raindrops dripping through his blonde hair. Oh yeah, we already know that. That's me. On his shoulders. Good afternoon. My voice is bright, a stark contrast to the miserable weather outside, and my heart hums happily as the prospect of a new customer. There they got that nigga talking with. Hold on. Hello again. His deep voice holds a unmistakable tingle of amusement, and it's only when he faces me head on that I recognize him. My shoulders slump in disappointment. Oh, it's you. I forgot he was coming today, and he seems quite drenched from the rain. He raises an eyebrow at his okay despondent greeting. He raises that water. Hold on. All right. He raises an eyebrow at my despondent greeting, and I give him an apologetic look. I didn't mean for it to come up the way it did, but I really been looking forward for a new customer. You agreed to let me come by and pick my things, remember? He said that he cocks his head, fixing me with a pointed look. I feel a little silly for forgetting, but shake it off with a wave of my hand. Of course, I'll let you go to the back. Hang on, wait a second. He hurries to stop me, stepping right up to the front of the counter just as I circled it. I want to talk to you before all that. Talk to me about what? A smile slips on his lips as I, hold on. He's smirking at me. He messed me up. All right. A smile slips on his lips. I get the feeling in the pit of my stomach that whatever it is, it can't be good. About renting your basement to me. I already said, I know you've already said no, and I respect that. But I'm asking if you could reconsider. I do want to use the basement so much. Can't you find somewhere else? Oh, no, I fucked it up. Oh well. He shrugs, that easy smile slipping back into place at once. I've grown fond of it. I want to do it. Let's make some money. Slide me, and he said any price. Give me 500. I said that's too cheap. Let me do. I'll do 800. Give me 800. We don't be kind about it. Yes, but I quite like this one. He playfully insists as droplets drip from his hair. I chew. Uh-oh. Hold on. Oh, okay. I chew on my bottom lip. I'm sorry, but I think this is kind of weird, and I'm not comfortable with it. I admit. I just bought the place, and even though I really don't have any plans for the basement. I wouldn't really want to share it with anyone else. All right, that's fair enough. The proposal is a bit presumptuous. He eventually admits defeat, stepping back into his hands held in front of him. Guess I'll be grabbing all my things and then move out, he says with a grin. My eyes are immediately drawn to the rainwater dripping from his clothes in the wet patch pulling at his feet.
Ugh.
When he follows my gaze, he notices it too. He notices it too. Swears softly under his breath.
Ugh.
Shit, I'm sorry. It's okay. I say quickly. Already moving towards the door to the back. Wait here. I'll grab a towel for you to dry it off with. Hold on. Heading out to the back, I grab a couple of fluffy white towels before returning to the front of the shop, finding a man waiting idly for me. Here, this will help. Thanks. He takes the towel and I use the second towel to mop up the water on the floor. The towel certainly helps with the dripping, but doesn't change the fact that he's soaking wet to the bone. We gonna make this nigga a shirt. Hey, let's get some money. Hey, I'll make you a shirt and give you a little discount. See, she ain't about that hustle. What? And the last thing I need is for some random guy to catch his death in my store. Taking my bottom lip between my teeth, I think for a moment. It's really not my problem, but if he's going to be moving stuff throughout my store, then I should at least make sure he doesn't drip all over the place. You should change into something dry, I suggest. I head over to flick through one of the menswear racks. I set up, looking for something about his size. I find an outfit easily enough, a shirt, a trouser combo, and hand it to him, gesturing towards the changing room. Are you sure? He asked, quirking an eyebrow at me. It's not a handout, if that's what you're thinking, I say. I'm not about to give my stuff away for free. I'm not a charity. Fair enough, of course, no problem. With a grateful smile, he takes the items towards the change room. It feels strange knowing that the first person ever to use my brand new fitting room is a random stranger who has illegally been using the basement in my building. But hey, it's better than nothing, I think. I put a damp towel aside while I wait for him to change, making a mental note to toss them in the laundry after the store closes.
Yeah.
Nice eye, he says when he eventually emerges. Okay. Yeah, it look good on him. I think it look cool. It look cool. It ain't that bad. Rolling over the sleeves on of his shirt and straightening everything out. The clothes fit like a glove. How much do I owe you for them? Well, we head over to the counter and I take his payment before putting his wet clothes in a bag for him to take home. I can't believe he's my first customer for the day. It's only because he got caught up in the rain and I basically forced the clothes upon him. The outfit looks great, by the way. He flicks it. Nope, I'm going too fast. The outfit looks great, by the way. His eyes flick around the store, taking all the renovated glory. You know, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thing you're doing here. Thanks, Alo. I just around the empty store. You've been my first customer today. A shame, I tell you. I quite like what you've done here. Thank you. I feel like we should cut to the chase and let him get his things. There are a few empty boxes beside the door. I can give you a hand if you like. Are you sure? I wouldn't want to pull you away from the line of customers waiting on you. Oh, he ain't shit. Oh, he ain't shit for saying that. And the nigga did a fucking chuckle. Fuck you, nigga. I give him a dry look and he chuckles softly. I love your help. He answers quickly. I lock the boutique doors and two of us head out to the back, grabbing a couple boxes each before heading down to the basement. He slips the key into the lock and pushes the door open. For the first time, we get a glimpse of what's inside. It's not far from what I had expected at a first glance. One large table takes a majority of the space, with chairs going along around it. There's a makeshift bar, a couple of storage units, and a sofa in the back. Damn, these niggas had a man cave down here. So not only were you using the place illegally, but I suppose you were serving alcohol without a permit too. Damn, girl, ain't nothing wrong with it. This is a hideout. I question him as I head behind the bar, loading the various bottles and tools into the box. Well, it's a private establishment, no permit needed, he explains, scratching the side of his neck sheepishly. He opens up one of the cupboards to clear it out. I glance at the contents, noticing a few packs of cards along with some colorful looking chips. Oh wait, these niggas doing illegal poker down here. I suppose he's telling the truth about the board game thing after all. So what's the game you were playing here down here again? He turns to me, scratching his cheek.
Uh,
Dragon Den. Oh, that nigga, mate. I knew it. I just called it. This nigga they've been gambling down here. You forgot the
hmm.
name? No, I'm just a little distracted. Is it hot in here or is it just me? Nigga, ain't nobody falling for that shit. Y'all, we're gambling down here. It's quite humid. It is quite humid in this basement, I admit, exhaling a large breath. Usually basements are cold, but here it feels like the air is stagnant and hot. He pulls at his collar on his new shirt and then packs up some of the items lying around in the box. I help him with packing as well, and we each take a box upstairs into the boutique. We only made it halfway through the store, however, when he stops suddenly and drops his box on the ground.
Uh,
Ah, god damn it. He swears softly and pulls his collar again with the grimace. I put my own box down and circle him, my eyebrows dipping as his fingers slip under the fabric and his nose crinkles unhappily. Is everything
hmm.
okay? Yeah, nothing to worry about. I, mm, ooh. I eye him suspiciously, not quite believing that's true. But when he picks up the box again, I follow him to the street. We load them into the truck as he parked in front of the boutique. We just step back into the boutique when he stops again, this time tugging at the hem of his shirt. Seriously, is there something wrong? I accident no, I'm fuck that word up. Hold on. Ignore the dismissive hand he raises.
Uh,
It's fine. He scratches he scratches around the collarbone, and when the fabric shifts, I see red patches of irritated skin developing beneath. Damn. Oh my god, your
huh.
skin. It's okay, nothing to worry about. He wheezes and tries to pass it off with a wave, but I can clearly see he's
Uh,
agitated. You didn't wash the shirt with a very fragrant detergent before displaying it, did you? I washed all my fabrics with a lavender detergent first, but it's getting worse. Ah, this nigga, sensitive ass skin, allergic.
uh,
I'm allergic to most laundry detergents they give me.
huh.
His eyes widen as he faces the floor length mirror, seeing all the extent of damage on his body. His nostrils flare in panic. Allergic. You should take that off. I say quickly, attempting to help him pull off his shirt. Oh, we finna see some ass. Go ahead, take that shirt off. Hey, if you really don't look at all the bumps and shit, that nigga packing. I ain't gonna that nigga fine. All right. With a groan, he shrugs it off completely, and I toss it into the counter and out the way. While he continues to stare at his reflection and scratch at the irritated patches of skin, I hide a gasp behind my hand at the sight of red raised splotches all down the front of his chest and abdomen. Oh my, it's completely spread in just a matter of minutes. Well, fuck. I can't agree more. You you probably shouldn't. I warned him, but he's completely zoned off. He unbuttons the top of his pants next. Whoa! Hey, what we finna see? But shutting me up completely. Wait, he's gonna strip, and of course he is. This is a medical emergency. Nah, that's kind of crazy. Nah, it's kind of crazy. Okay, hold on. I gotta screenshot this. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, I gotta do it real quick. Hold on. Nah, that's kind of crazy. All right, my skin. Hold on. Nah, stripping fully is insane, bro. You might give that man his clothes back. My skin warms as I try to focus on the severity of the situation rather than the fact that this handsome man is standing half naked in my shop. When Sarah joked that it was about time I had a naked man in my house, I really don't think this is what she had in mind. While attempting to keep my eyes from lingering where they shouldn't be, I take a small step closer to inspect the marks on his skin. What is it? Some kind of allergic reaction? Hives. He mentions the stutter. Oh, oh, this nigga can't breathe. Wait a minute. This nigga said, uh, his eyes started drifting back into the bed. Laundry detergent gives me hives. I curse softly under my breath, knowing I had nothing in my first aid kit. Damn, that would help him very much. Instead, I grab him a damp cloth. His no, oh wait, hold on. Instead, I grab his still damp clothes from the bag they're in and attempt to hand them over. Though he's not paying much attention to me, so I snap my fingers in front of him. There's a hospital nearby. We can go there, he says. I said hurriedly. I dump the clothes in his arms and take my handbag from beneath the counter, making sure I have my cell phone and keys. While he stands there being useless, I also find a large umbrella before instructing him to put his wet clothes back on and start moving. Come on, let's go. Upon seeing my companion's condition, the receptionist asks him to quickly fill out some details and call a nurse who helps us through to see one of the doctors right away, much to the relief of both of us. The doctor greets us as we enter the room and introduces herself as Dr. Hazen. Her lips purse a little as she reads the form the nurse has given to her. Once she puts the clipboard down, she indicates for him to take a seat on the examination bed. The plastic crinkles beneath him as he sits. I busy myself with sitting in one of the guest chairs and setting my handbag down beside. Okay, well, what do we have here? Mr. Grayson, Mr. Gray Jason. Breaking out into hives doesn't seem to be your lucky day, doctor says. I freeze, my blood running cold in my veins, chilling me down to the bone. What name did she just say? Remove your shirt, please, Mr. Jason. I need to take a closer look at the severity of the situation. Doctor Hasty instructs pulling on a pair putting no, it says pulling, yes. Pulling on a pair of plastic gloves while she waits for him to do as she asks. While she inspects the hives on the skin, I stay as still as a stone. A chilling run down my back. No, a chilling run down the back of my neck and all the way down to my spine. Gray. It's funny how I never thought to ask for his name before, and now that I've heard it, the crushing realization dawns on me. But he's not. He couldn't be. You're lucky you had such a caring girlfriend to immediately take you to the hospital, even though hives aren't very life threatening. The doctor chuckles. Her voice snaps me out of my thoughts, and my stomach tightens at her implication. Oh, I'm
Ugh.
not. Yes, I'm incredibly lucky. Ah, this nigga. Gray says quickly, his eyes pinning back to me. No, let's run it back. Yes, I'm incredibly lucky. Gray says quickly, his eyes pinning back to the spot in a way that I'm. Mm, Hold on. All right. His eyes pinning me to the spot in a way that has me sealing my lips tight. I know there was something familiar about him when I first met. Maybe I simply didn't want to see it. I'm going to prescribe you some medicine to take over the few days. You can collect it from the pharmacy next door on your way out. I watched silently as Dr. Hazen gives Gray a piece of paper, but I don't hear anything that happens next over the sound of my heart thundering, yeah, thundering in my ears. A man has been the man I've been with this whole time, who I let into my shop right beneath my home, and who has repeatedly asked to rent out the basement is no other than my former rival, the Phantom. My eyes trail over him from head to toe, trying to desperately figure out why I didn't recognize him before. His hair has changed, and the biggest difference. Oh, his hair has changed. That's the biggest difference. And he has piercings in all places he never had them before. Or maybe he's always had them, but they were hidden.
Ugh.
Well, I gotta go pick up my meds, and then maybe I can stop scratching like I'm infested with fleas. Shall we head back? When he speaks to me, I'm still in the state of shock, unable to say a word. I quickly realize that the appointment is over, and I fumble to pick up my handbag from beside
Huh?
him. Is everything okay? I manage I manage a nod as I get up to my feet, but still he raises the eyebrow, giving me a inquisitive look. Yeah, I croak. Let's go. After picking up his prescription at the pharmacy, Gray immediately pops in one of his pills. It's still raining when we step
Huh.
outside. Hopefully this will keep it from spreading, he mutters. I don't say anything as I still reeling over the fact that I met the guy that I got kicked out of high school 10 years ago. I let him take the umbrella, shielding us from the rain while we head back to the boutique. We make small talk as we walk, commenting on the weather, the city, and the doctor's office, but I can't stop mulling over everything in my head. Has he recognized me too? He hasn't said anything that would suggest he has, but I can't be sure that it's not an act. He is the Phantom after all.
Hmm.
Well, we are here. His voice snaps me out of my thoughts, and I realize we're standing in front of the boutique. Ray runs a hand over the back of his neck and gives me a sheepish look.
Um.
Sorry I freaked out earlier about the hives. I haven't had a breakout since I was a teenager. It brought back some pretty bad, rough memories. Oh, hold on. First off, I like seeing a different side of you. What are we talking about? Like, I'm gonna go Pierce. That's some flirting.
Damn.
No, but I'm saying that's some flirting shit you would say
You do
if
don't you want him?
I do, but I can't go off of that. We gotta go off like we and the girl in this situation.
Right, and that was her option.
But I'm teasing him though. Yeah, I'm
Is that
teasing.
TV?
Yes, it is. You were quite dramatic. I teased him with a side glance, finding him shaking his head in
Huh.
disbelief. Says the woman, see? He played me. He said, yeah, you can help me. I don't want to, but he was like, I don't want to pull you from your line of customers. Knowing he was the first customer today. He played me, so I'm going to play him back. Says the woman who tried to break into her own basement with a screwdriver. He grins and nudges me playfully on my arm. For a moment, we almost forget who. Oh wait, hold on. And for a moment, I almost forget who I'm talking to. He's similar to what I remember. That easy grin with a quick laughter, but he's different too. More mature in some ways. Oh, haha! I fire back, digging through my handbag for the keys to the shop. I've just inserted them into the lock, and when I thought when a thought hits me, and I turn back to him suddenly. Gray. Oh no, I gotta say Gray. I speak his name for the first time, and when his eyes meet mine, I still can't believe I've never recognized him. I feel I feel now as though I should have recognized those eyes anywhere. Why didn't you tell the Why didn't you tell the doctor I wasn't your girlfriend? He gives me a crooked grin as though he sees something behind my words that I've never
Ugh.
intended. Because it wasn't any of her business. Um, that nigga playing me. Alright, lock it in memory, and the memory floods back to the surface of my mind of the night long ago. One of him one of him in handcuffs as a teenager, being forced into the back of a patrol car, and the consequences came after. He had been expelled from the Capitol High after the incident and ended up with a pretty nasty criminal record due to the knife. Damn, they had found on him. I can't stop the guilt that. Oh wait, ooh, wait a minute, I just thought of it. We put both of those niggas in jail, I think, because we had the video. But that was his own fault. Never mind. I can't stop the guilt that gnaws at my insides, knowing I was the one who had called the police there in the first place. Knowing that whole thing had been my fault, an overwhelming sense of guilt settles in the pit of my stomach. I had left it all behind, but I can't change the past. I did, excuse me. I did screw up, and I did screw up his school life by getting him arrested. I have to make amends for what I've done, and at the moment, only one thing comes to mind. Before I can have a chance to overthink, I reveal my idea to Gray about the basement. I changed my mind. I'll rent it out to you. Okay, she's nice. His face lights up with an instant and overjoyed smile curving his lips. It immediately lessens the weight hanging over my
Eh?
shoulders. Really? Yes, really. I chuckle at his reaction, finding it cute how excited he seems to be to have his board game back space back. He stops and cocks his eyebrow at me, his lips pulling into the tight line that makes a thread of worry worm itself through my
Hmm.
stomach. What made you change your mind? You don't seem so bad after all. With a chuckle, he nods his head at me, accepting the excuse, and I invite him inside the shop once more. We settle on an acceptable price for the rent and agree to draw a contract for him to sign the next time he's here.
Oh.
I never got your name, by the way, he says. I realize that's true. He has absolutely no idea what my name is. He has absolutely no idea I'm the girl who ruined his youth. And now we promise to draw up a contract to cement the fact that he'll be working out of my building. Stupid, stupid consequence. Is it too late to change my mind for a second time? After all, the numerous nefarious rumors involving the Phantom back in high school are seared into my memory. What could he do if he found out about the past history? What exactly is he capable of? Calm down, I tell myself. I know how much I've changed in the past decade. He probably has to. I should give him the benefit of a doubt. I owe him at least this much. Even so, I'm tempted to give him a fake name. I don't want to risk him connecting the dots back to our past. Not before I know I can trust him with that information. I'm not about to make an enemy out of my new renter. But then again, he might already spotted my real name on the business card in the boutique. That is true. You might as well say fuck it and tell him. I bite my bottom lip and hesitantly speak up. It's a my sign. I say cautiously, even if he does remember me, at the very least, he won't be able to connect me to Butterfly
Ugh.
Mac. Oh, this nigga don't remember me. Damn. That's crazy. Thank you, Maya, son. You've almost made the highs worth it, he jokes, not showing any indication he recognizes the name. I almost breathe out a sigh of relief. I don't even want him to I don't even want to imagine he might do if he knew it was me who ruined his life. It should be an easy enough secret to keep, seeing as seeing as how I broke off the contract with anyone from a gang, especially for Sarah. I hope that I can count on her to stay cordial around him, especially considering that the Phantom allegedly sent her cousin to the hospital. Oh yeah, I forgot about that shit. Hold on, pause real quick.
Now I'm doing more. Uh,
All right, we back. Oh, fix myself up. Hold on. There you go. All right. All right. With any luck, she'll avoid him completely, or at the very least, be mindful of what she says around
Hmm.
him. I'll be seeing you later then. Gray says as he twirls the keys I've returned to him around his finger. One for the back door of the building and the other for the basement. Yeah, I'll see you later. Oh yeah, I'll see you soon. Oh wait, I forgot to do that. All right. Yeah, I'll see you soon. I say with a nod, watching him head for the door, giving me at least a wave before he goes through it and disappears from my sights. As soon as he's gone, I lurch from my phone and hit Sarah's number in my recent contacts. My hand shaking as I hold the device to my ear and wait for her to answer. It doesn't take long before her familiar voice greets me through the phone.
Hmm.
Hey, how did your first day go? Sarah, I shriek into to the receiver, ignoring her unhappy groan at my outburst. You never believe it, but the guy who wanted to rent out the basement, that's Gray
Ugh.
Jason. What? Her disbelief is clear from her tone alone, and I'm glad to find she's just as shocked as
Ugh.
me. How did we not recognize him? I don't know. He looks different, but I couldn't believe it either.
Mm.
Sarah lets out a sting of curses. I don't know why would you tell her. I ain't gonna hold you because she would have got mad. I take a deep breath mentally, preparing myself to tell her the other bits of news. News I'm sure she won't be happy to hear in the least. There's one other thing.
Hmm.
What is it? I hesitate for only a moment before speaking, letting the weight of my agreement finally sink in. I agreed to rent out the basement to him. Oh shit. Alright. So I'm gonna pause the stream. Cause I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just do two. Oh no, we can run it back. We'll do one more chapter, and then I'm gonna end the stream. That's what I'm gonna do. Let's see if we can put her in a different outfit. I ain't gonna hold you. Let's see. Let's see. There we go. Then the shirt. Let me put this one on. I'm gonna put it on the skirt. We're gonna keep the boots on. Earrings. Fuck it, we'll have the earrings on. And then we'll do charm bracelets. Yeah, I don't like this skirt. Am I? I'm gonna go. I don't like those earrings. They cool. It ain't that bad. Alright. Had to switch it up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Alright. Chapter 6. With a click of my tongue, I point a finger down the street and narrow my brown eyes at the man in front of me. For the last time, you need to go around the back entrance. I'm trying to run a business here. The man grumbles as he turns away, and I sigh in exasperation. This has been happening all afternoon. I just can't catch a break. When I turn back to the customers, a woman and her teenage daughter who had just walked in off the streets attempted to plaster an apologetic smile. I'm sorry for the interruption, I say smoothly, pacing over to where they're browsing through the rack of formal dresses. Where were we? We'd like to have a dress specially made for my Claire. I said Charlie. How the fuck I get that? For my Claire. The Academy Ball is 3 months away, the woman says, placing a hand on her daughter's shoulder. Claire ignores her mother completely, instead devoting her attention to the cell phone she holds in front of her nose. Claire and Academy? I used to be a student there. Academy Ball is the highlight of the year, I say, finally remembering the event. And it's the truth. The Academy Ball is a dream. The main hall is lavishly decorated in the chosen theme for the year. Only the most well-known DJs are hired for the event, and all the students will be desperate for the latest fashion in ball gowns, tuxedos, no expense spared. It would be an amazing opportunity for me to bring this new business to the boutique, and one should take fully advantage of. Then, we need something unique, but styled in the latest trends. The woman continues while Claire taps away on her phone. And I'd be happy to pass your business details on to our friends. Should we like what you produce? I nod, understanding her meaning perfectly. I'll need to be at the top of my game if I intend to snag a kind of clientele this particular event can bring me. We can start by looking at some of the different styles and fabrics. Then I can draw up a couple designs based on what you like. Claire finally looks up from her screen, and I smile at her, earning a interested tilt of the head in return. After all I'll need to do is take your measurements and put it all together. It'll be finished long before the ball comes around. That's wonderful, Claire's mother says. Her fingers steep. Hold on. In satisfaction. When can we start? Now, if you like, I have some fabric samples over here, if you'll follow me. I start to walk over to the rack, holding my formal fabrics, stopping only when the click of heels doesn't echo from behind me. I realize I'm not being followed. Oh, you know what? I think we'll come back later. Her mother says hurriedly, ushering her daughter into the direction of the door. I just remember that we have an appointment we can't miss. Somebody must be behind her and scared her ass. Oh, a pencil you in for another. A pair of them hurried past me in the exit shop. When brows dipped in confusion, I turned to find what had spooked my customers. Two large, oh my goodness, these niggas. You need to lock that basement door. Nobody ain't coming up. That's bullshit. Two men, large and burly, with beards all the way down to their chests, have stepped into the store, looking around in confusion. I don't believe this. Annoyance washes over me in a wave, and I storm over to the pair, hands on my hip, and I stare there now. If you're looking for a basement, you need to go around the back of the building. I must have said this more with more attitude than I meant because the men looked taken back. One of them holding his hands up in front of him apologetically. Excuse me, miss. Didn't mean to disturb you. I blink dumbly as they exit the boutique, the bell ringing above the door as they leave. Wow, I didn't expect them to leave as easily as that. Most of the men who had came in here had seemed confused, but were harmless and nothing less. One or two had gotten mouthy with me, but I had swiftly found themselves directed to the exit. Uh, hold on. One thing they all have in common, however, is that they're scaring away my business. I'm not going to tolerate it any further. Yeah, because you could have got a check from that. They fucked it up. They better come back. I circle around the counter and pick up my phone from beneath it, tapping a finger on the screen and scrolling through my contacts. I find Gray's name easily enough in a recent addition to my phone book and hit the icon to dial his number. Holding the phone to my ear, it starts ringing, though when a familiar voice rings out from the back of the store, I end the call and pause. He's here. I hurry over to the back entrance of the boutique and pull open the door, finding the culprit in question and a couple of the guys chatting near the back door of the building. Three of them turn at the sound of my arrival, and Gray grins at me when he turns, completely oblivious to my ignorance. Amaya-san, how are you today? I need to speak with you, I say, ignoring his question. Okay. Gray grabs. Oh, Gray blinks at me a couple times, as if he can possibly fathom what I have to be angry about. Then he turns to his acquaintances, giving the closest one a pat on the shoulder. Tell them I'll be down in a few. Don't start it without me. Hey, boss. I crook an eyebrow at that. Boss. So, what can I do for you? Gray paces over, the look on his face so smug, it sends a new fresh wave of fury rolling through me. Can you start by telling your friends not to come in the store? They're scaring away my customers. His eyes widen, taken back by the sudden explosion of anger. Oh, he rubs the back of his neck anxiously. I did ask them to use the back door, but some of them aren't too good with instructions. Tiny brains, you know. I huff a breath, ignoring the smirk that tilts his lips and only fuels me further. I was in the middle of styling a customer for the Academy Ball when your old fish friends walked in and scared them away. Do you have any idea what this could cost me? It's completely the Academy Ball, he snorts. Cutting my rant short. You mean that unnecessary, pompous show of wealth the Academy puts on every year? It's a prestigious event, actually, in an important tradition. Flannery Academy knows nothing of tradition. His eyes turn fierce, a coldness creeping over his face. The students are a bunch of spoiled rich kids who have never had to lift a finger in their lives. They always have been and always will be. My breath escapes in a shakily exhale. I don't dare to tell him that it was my school. Boutique need business, my nigga. It's business. Boutique need business. I'm explaining, ignoring his jazz. The parents of the students have a lot of money, yes. They also have influence. It's a good way for me to get my work out there.
Uh,
I didn't think of it that way. He admits, pulling his bottom lip between his teeth as he thinks it over. When he fixes me with those stormy gray eyes again, they're softer than they were
uh,
before. I make sure it doesn't happen again. I nod, my breath steadying and my gaze drooping as the anger slowly begins to.
hmm.
Hey, he steps forward and calms me with a hand on my arm, squeezing
Hmm.
gently. I'm sorry, okay? I never meant it to make things difficult for you. Our eyes lock, and I believe him. And then a swift pang of guilt hits me as I remember how difficult I've made things for him. Just make sure your buddies remember this time, I say with a tried sigh, or I'll hold you personally responsible for any loss of
Oh,
business. Oh, gray eyes light up at once, his interest peak.
hey.
And how do you intend to punish me? Oh, this nigga freaky. His eyes glint with mischief, and a disbelieving sound escapes me before I can stop it. I'm really not in the mood for this. I'm sorry. He holds up with his hands and laughs softly, quite obviously not sorry
Hmm.
in the least. I'll keep them in line. He said he'll keep in line. I'm gonna believe him. We don't go kind.
Uh,
Thank you. You're welcome, Myson. Are there any other grievances you'd like to discuss? I narrow my eyes at him, though he simply grins smugly in return. Not right now, but the night is still young. He helps a laugh, but I'm far from happy. Once his friends stop treating my boutique as their own personal go-between, then I'm satisfied. I cross my arms over my chest. Gray looks over at me, a hidden grin playing on his lips. It's unnerving. Why are you looking at me like that? He attempts to smother his grin with a hand, but fails miserably. Continuing to stare at me as if I were a shiny
hmm.
new toy. No reason. I raise an eyebrow at him suspiciously, though the voice outside grabs of the outside grabs my attention before I can say anything else.
Huh?
What do you mean I can't come in? This is my best friend's place. You walking tree. I glanced past Gray to see Sarah staring down a tall man just outside the back door, fire in his eyes. Pushing my way through, I head towards the exit, preparing to step in before Sarah gets herself crushed.
Hmm.
Ah! Jen back! Hey, Jen, out of all these niggas, Jen is the best looking one. Dreads and all. This is a private gathering, and I've never seen you before. The man says to her, but I want to facepalm myself in his stead. I would have remembered if I had to. What is that supposed to
Uh,
mean? Just that you're very pretty. Man starts, okay, shoot your time! Shoot your time, Jen. I ain't mad at you. I am not mad at you. Sarah looks anything but flattered at the compliment, and the man quickly turns flustered.
uh,
No, wait, I didn't mean to be disrespectful. Shit, I'm sorry.
huh.
Jade, it's okay, mate. You can let her in. Gray steps in, amusement practically dripping from his voice when he leans and it whispers to his friends. Sarah looks less than pleased to see the Phantom again in the flesh after all these years. Her lips practically disappear into a disapproving narrow line. She tur- she turns her gaze away from Gray and shoves her way past the two conserving
Uh,
men. You're hopeless, you know that? What is it? I asked in exasperation as I pushed between them, gesturing wildly at the stranger. Who is
hmm.
he? My name is Jed. A tall man. Tall man introduces himself. That's when I finally recognized him. Back in school, he had came to the academy to look for me, and my gang had beat him up to a bloody pulp because of it. That's how we met. It didn't end very friendly. and end on very friendly terms. Luckily, it doesn't seem like he's paying much
Huh.
mind to me. He's my best mate, Gray says, drawing my
Hmm.
attention. He makes sure no suspicious folk come wandering in here trying to join our game. I have half of I have half a mind to tell him that all of them are suspicious, but I stopped myself. I thought you said you were playing board
Uh.
games. We are. So you're telling me you need a bodyguard for a board game night? I'm
Huh.
telling you, they gambling down there. Yep. Sarah scoffs, rolling her silver eyes at the pair of
Eh.
them. What a load of.
Yeah.
Well, we taken enough of your time. Gray interrupts with a clap of his hands, grabbing Jed
Huh.
by the arm. Come on, Jed. Let's get down there before they riot. I watched them leave in silence.
Huh?
What just happened? Sarah turns to me, her eyes wide in disbelief. I have no idea. I rub at my temples, desperate for some peace and quiet after that encounter. Why were you just using the back door anyways?
Hmm.
I thought it might be better than coming into the store while you were open.
Ah.
Though I never expected to be met by a 7 foot mountain guarding the. I don't. I never expected to be met by a 7 foot mountain man guarding the place. She says with a scowl. Chuckling, I agreed with her. Jed was quite the built man. Yes, he is. I'm just about to close the store. Are you hungry?
Hmm.
Starving. She grins at the prospect of eating food and not surprised by the least. I should have got a screenshot. Don't worry, I'm gonna get it back. Once he get back on that screen, I gotta screenshot him. The way I wave her towards the stairs to my apartment while heading back to this boutique. I'll meet you upstairs in a few. An hour later, Sarah and I are sitting on the sofa, two large glasses of wine on the coffee table in front of us, as we dig into our pasta alfredo I've just whipped up together. There's a show on TV, some trashy reality show about a group of singles left alone on a super yacht, and we leave it playing in the background while we chat. So, any other dates coming up? I asked Sarah, who makes a face at me as she
Hmm.
chews. No, but I found this new app that matches you with someone based on your computer browser history. It sounds promising. I stare at her, unsure if that was a joke or not. When she says nothing else, I realize she's completely serious. So you'll be matched with someone who enjoys gluten-free baking and funny videos of dogs then. She gives me a withering glare and I laugh, knowing I'm totally right. Why don't why don't you just, I don't know, meet someone the old-fashioned way? Right, because that's worked so well for me in the past, she said sarcastically, taking another bite of pasta. Or I, or just sign in for a reality TV show. Water. Hold on. All right. They look like they're having fun. I point at the TV and Sarah snorts, dismissing the idea. Then she stops suddenly and grabs the remote, turning the volume down and tilting her head to the
Uh.
side. Do you hear that? I pause to listen. I don't hear anything.
Hmm.
I think that came from the basement. It was kind of like, hey, never mind. She shrugs and turns the volume back up to normal. Resuming the show, I continue eating. I still can't believe you let the Phantom rent out your basement, she says with a disbelieving laugh. I never knew you had a death wish. I don't. I felt sorry. Ooh. I felt sorry for him. That's
Huh?
why. I hesitate for a second before putting my half empty plate down on the coffee table and turning to Sarah, preparing myself to come clean with it. Ooh, you is? It's something I never told you. Well, yeah, it's 10 years ago. You fine. Back in high school, the night of the challenge, I didn't get pulled aside by the cops like I said I
Hmm.
did. Okay? The truth is that I bailed. I explained everything to Sarah, how I helped Gray the first night we met, how I tried to cover it up a dozen times after that, knowing the gang would rain bloody hell down on me if they found out, and how I called the cops, got Gray arrested and kicked out of school. That was the reason I agreed to rent the basement to him, to make amends in whatever small way I could. When I finish speaking, Sarah stares at me wide-eyed. Please say something, I say quietly, folding under the weight of her stare. I can't believe you didn't tell me any of this. I hesitate for a moment, knowing that I should have come clean with her a long time ago. I was afraid of what would happen if the gang found out. You know they wouldn't have taken it well. I cringe at this half truth, knowing that I'm scared of losing Sarah most of all. I'm unsure if I should reveal how much I've doubted our bond. I guess afterwards it didn't matter much because I left him anyways. Screw that gang, she fires back. Her temper rising, I would have had your back. What about your family's back? I knew what the rumors were. Sarah looked inclined to argue, but for once she held her tongue. I didn't want to put you in a difficult position, but I can't pass up the chance to make things right. What's done is done. I hope you can forgive me. My phone beeps, interrupting the conversation. I glance at the email notification. When I open the app on my phone, I immediately notice the sender, and my face falls. That's weird, I mumble, tapping the screen to open the message.
Hmm.
What is it? An email from Nikki. Oh, shit. Sarah gives a disbelieving look, pulling her legs up under her as she turns to me. I thought you two weren't friends anymore. We're not. I mean, I haven't spoken to him since
Hmm.
graduation. What does it say? I scanned the email briefly before clearing my throat and relaying it to her. Dear my son, I know it's been a long time since we last spoke. I'm sorry we never kept in touch. I know you didn't want anything to do with the old gang once school was over, but I wish I had tried harder. I'm a teacher at the academy now. How weird is that? Wow, okay. I heard you got into the fashion business. My students are putting on a play next month, and I wondered, okay, he's finna give you a hookup, yeah. And I wondered if you might be willing to help us out with the costumes. Let me know if you're interested, and we can work out a time to talk. It would be good to hear from you after all this time. Butterfly Mac, Nikki. Silence stretches between us, only the sound of the TV in the background cutting through the quiet. Eventually, Sarah says,
Oh.
let's have a long breath. Wow. Yeah.
Hmm.
What are you going to do? I think for a moment, still reeling from the sudden blast of the past before I speak. I don't know. On one hand, it could be a good opportunity to show off my design when I trail off. Sarah nudges. Hold on. Hey, I must be getting dry quick. All right. When I trail off, Sarah nudges me with her sock-cladded toe.
Hmm.
But I let out a heavy sigh and weigh my options. But I don't know. I don't want to get dragged back into my old life again. Not now that I have a boutique and responsibilities.
Ah.
And Gray, are you going to tell him who you are? Aren't you? You're gonna tell him who you are, aren't you? She questions. Mm, no way. Hell no. No way. I told you I don't have a death wish. I say with a wave dismissing the idea in an instant. I'm hoping my aloof attitude will deter her from asking further questions.
Hmm.
He's bound to find out sooner or later, Sarah argues. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Right now, I'm not ready.
Ah.
What if he overhears something, or someone could come to the boutique and recognize you? I shake my head, refusing to give in the possibility. I made my decision already. Sarah sighs, and I know she doesn't agree with it, but it's not her decision to make.
Ah.
It's your choice, Amaya-san. All I'm saying is that one day something might happen that's out of your
Ah.
control. I mean, think about it. The Sarah stops again and presses the mute button on the remote, her head cocked to the
Ah.
side. You seriously don't hear that? I shrug, shaking my head. I have no idea what she's talking about. What does it sound like? Like banging and groaning? She says in confusion. Are you sure you're not just hearing things? She pokes her tongue out at me, but then raises an
Hmm.
eyebrow. Ray said they're using the basement for board games, right? But what if it's just a cover? What if they're doing something else? It's not like the thought hadn't crossed my mind. Board games may just be a euphemism for something else. Who knows? Seeing all those sketchy and muscular figures entering the basement doesn't dispel the fact. Gray has a reputation for trouble back in the day, so it's plausible that he could be up to something. And he did want to rent out the basement pretty
Hmm.
bad. What do you what do you know about Gray? She asks. Absolutely nothing, I reply. She gives me this look like she's formulating something in her mind.
Huh?
Can't enter the basement, huh? Nope. He got the keys. It's his domain. She starts to chew on her nails, deep in
Uh.
thought. You got the phantom in your basement doing who knows what. I got that right. I nod
Hmm.
cheaply. What if we follow him? Sarah suggests. Huh? I exclaim. You want to follow him around? You want to straight up stalk
Uh.
him? Oh, come on. He's only doing shady stuff in the
Hmm.
basement. I want to make sure he's not doing anything illegal, Make sure your boutique is off the hook. Sarah has Sarah's got a point. I admit apprehensive I'm a bit apprehensive though. I'm going back to my roots, where I'd wait for some Riversiders at the end of the school day. I do have his address on the contract he signed for renting the basement. We could wait until he leaves tomorrow and trail him. She nods, a smile pulling at the corner of her mouth. I should have known the idea would be right up her alley.
Hmm.
I like the way you think. The next morning, Sarah and I linger behind a couple of trees near Gray's address, waiting for him to make an appearance. I adjust the oversized glasses that sit on my nose, hoping my disguise would work in case they notice us. With a sigh, I return to tapping away on my phone while we wait. I've just crushed another level on Candy Crush when a familiar voice gets my attention and Gray finally emerges from his house. Crap, that other guy is with him, Sarah points out. I immediately notice Jed's hulking form. They seem to be having casual conversation. I sure hope they won't be returning to the basement on the weekend. Otherwise, this whole trailing plan will fall apart. Luckily, they start walking in the opposite direction of street trends. Keeping a healthy distance, we follow a pair. We follow the pair as they head down the street. It starts off like any normal shopping day in the city, I suppose. They stop to get coffee, call into the pharmacy, grab a bite to eat. Sarah and I sit at the cafe across the street, sipping on a couple of smoothies, impatiently waiting for them to finish their food and move. We conveniently placed a couple of menus to hide our faces, and eventually I grow tired of peeking over the top of them. Time drags on, and I'm just about to suggest we give up when Sarah nudges me to get my attention.
Hmm.
Look, I follow her pointed finger, and my eyes widen when I notice the shop that Gray and Jed have just walked into. I let out a groan. It's a sex shop. No, but we were down there. We saw all the stuff he had. There ain't no way. We were down there though. We didn't see no bullshit. All right, sex dungeons, wild. There's no way. I ain't gonna let. He might be going there to. Jed might got a bitch on the side. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe. I can't believe that. A sex dungeon. She exclaims confidently, making my eyes bulge out. You think so?
Hmm.
Well, let's follow them and find out. Sarah grabs me by the arm excitedly, and I'm forced to follow along. My hesitant, I'm hesitant to enter the shop, but I know it's our best chance of finding out what Gray and his friends have been up to in my basement. No way she made it back. Oh hell no, bro. They actually. All right. When we enter the shop, we hide down an empty aisle, peeking around the sides to catch a glimpse of the guys. We find them eventually. Jed flicking through a few magazines on the rack, and Gray in the aisles next to ours.
Ah.
It's, they split up. Jasper, I instruct, earning a nod before she slinks off. I turn off casually. I turn and walk casually to the end of the aisle, trying to be quiet but not obvious. Brightly colored packages line the shelf on either side of me, and once or twice I do a double take, baffled by some of the some of the items on the shelf. I especially surprised when I peek down the aisle that Gray's in currently. Whips, gags, and handcuffs. Oh God, is he into these kinds of fetishes? Gray has something in his hands. I lean around further to try and get a better look. You sold the motherfucking bag. There's no way you failed and knock over an entire rack of sex toys. Oh my fucking goodness, bro. Ooh. Yeah, you're caught. Operation's over with. She fucked it up. I can feel my stomach filled with anxiety as I watch the boxes clatter over to the floor. With a stifled yelp, I sprint away from the scene, not staying to see if Gray had noticed anything. Oh, okay. Okay, you fast. All right. Slipping down the end of the aisle, I leaned back against the shelf and let out a breath of relief. It seemed to have made it away undetected. After catching my breath, I risked peeking around the corner, seeing the seeing the various toys scattered over the floor, but no sign of Gray. Imagine that nigga pop up behind you. Oh, that was embarrassing, but I also feel guilty for knocking over some products and not staying behind to pick them
Huh.
up. Hello, Marcus. Clutching my chest, I turn to find Gray standing next to me. My heart hammers in my ears like a drum.
Ah.
What are you doing here? He asks me in a neutral tone. He gives me a suspicious look, and on instinct, I grab the. Oh, no. Why would you do that? Because if you're looking goofy. Alright, let's see what she grabbed, bro. On instinct, I grab the item closest to me, holding it up and saying boldly, I'm shopping. Can a grown woman shop for sex toys and peace? Gray snickers, his eyes landing on whatever I'm currently holding in my hand. I look down, realizing it's to my mortification that I picked up an enormous neon pink. You call like it like that? Ah, damn.
Huh.
You know, I think they had bigger ones in the thing. He ain't shit. He ain't shit for that. Oh, he ain't shit. My face flushes red. My cheeks flaming hot as I quickly put the item back on the shelf, knocking over a few others in the process. Like a fool, I scramble to keep them upright before a domino effect knocks all of them off. He ain't shit. Gray laughs even harder, amused by my reaction, not knowing what else to do. I walk away from the aisle. Gray laughter dies down as he catches up to me, giving me a much
Hmm.
sterner look. What are you really doing here? Ah, shit. I'm not telling that man. To stay, hey, if Sarah didn't get caught, I ain't getting caught. I'm alive best as I can. I already told you I'm shopping. I say with exasperation, matching his
Huh.
stern look. Still going with that excuse, are you? All right then. What are you shopping for? Maybe I can help you with it. You want to help me find? No. How do you know so much about women's sex toys? I question him, raising an eyebrow. Good shit. A cocky smirk appears on his lips, and he brushes the hair away from his. If you must know, have a quite, I have quite a library of expertise in. Uh oh. Gray taps on one of the boxes on the shelf. Toys. Well, that's certainly information I would have been fine not to even find
Huh.
out. So what are you looking for? He asks, a sly grin on his face. I look around desperately, grabbing the most innocent thing I can find for one of these.
Huh.
Do you even know what that is? He quirks an eyebrow at me. I studied the new color package, looking for a clue. Yes. Gray stares at me. His face is a mixture of amusement and
Hmm.
impatience. They're nipple clamps. She be picking up anything. You just get out the store. Hey Sarah, we gotta go. What? No, that's crazy. We calling her. Nah, we got yo. We just gotta leave her. Honestly, I pressed my mouth into a thin line, staring him down as if I'm totally meant to grab the pair of nipple clamps. Yes, I lie with with much confidence as I can. They're for me.
Oh.
Oh, he's not answering it. I like. All right, let's count that. All right, give it up already, my son. I know you were following me. Damn! Ain't no way. Ain't no way you know that. I know you were following me along with your friend. My jaw tense, lips, lips pursed in defiance before I break altogether. Fine, I sigh in defeat, putting the package back on the shelf. I was following you. Happy now? He grins, and I'm sure he thinks he's awfully
Huh.
clever. Yes, but I'll be happier when you tell me why. I rack my brain trying to come up with an acceptable excuse. I can't just openly come out and say Sarah and I were worried he was lying about how he was using the basement. We were trying to find out more about you. You spend a lot of time in the basement after all. His face softens a little as he lets out a breath, nodding as though that makes sense.
Hmm.
If you want to know something, all you gotta do is ask. I pause for a moment, thinking about it. It can't be that easy, can it? Alright, I'll ask. Why did you come to this store? He gives me a sly grin, shoving his hands in his
Hmm.
pocket. Because I knew the two of you were following us. You're not exactly subtle, you know. My eyes widen slightly. He noticed us all along. Was he just trying to make us go out on a wild goose chase?
Hmm.
I didn't think you were brave enough to follow us in here. He finishes. I make the face at him, wondering if he's telling the truth or it's just another cover. Sarah's words about running a sex dungeon rings through my mind. But we weren't going to let a sex shop stop us. He breathes. He breathes out a short chuckle. I can almost see the cogs in his head working to come up with a comeback. But then he just looks at me, that boyish, crooked grin tilting the sides of his
Hmm.
lips. Well, if you enter the store, it would be a shame to walk out of here empty-handed, though, would it? Ooh. Gray scans by the nearby shelves, plucking a rectangular box from one and handing it to me.
Yeah.
Here, I recommend this. Have fun. You look like you need it. Oh! He talking shit. He gotta get his ass beat. He he saunters off before I even looked at the box. But when I finally did, I realized he handed me a purple vibrator, and my eyes widened at his nerve. Gray. I stormed down the aisle just in time to see him following Jed out of the front door. My face must look beet red, and he throws me a wink from over his shoulder and exits the store, his laughter echoing behind him. I'm so embarrassed. Yeah. Now that's crazy how he just holds me like I don't know if I know you. Alright. So we're gonna end it here. You know what I'm saying? We had episode 7, chapter 7. We're at chapter 7. Good progress, you know what I'm saying? But this next episode, I'm gonna need a little more excitement. I'm gonna need a little more romance, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm gonna need that. So hopefully you enjoyed and like and subscribe. Hold on.